Hi everyone, in this video I would like to be very vulnerable and open and honest about my emotions and postpartum and how it's been. I've openly talked about how things have gone well for me, and I think it's also important to be vulnerable about things if they're being overwhelming. So I'm currently 2 weeks postpartum, and motherhood has been honestly one of the happiest times of my life. My birth experience, which I'm going to make a video about, has been just the most surreal experience. It was so magical, so empowering for me. Seeing my baby, loving my baby, that's the greatest joy I could ever possibly imagine. With love for someone comes a lot of pain, and the pain is from the worry, the feeling that you have to always be your best for them because they rely on you. When you are a parent, you have the responsibility of taking care of your baby, so you have to worry about them non-stop, and the worry is never ending. You love them so much that you know you have to always be your best, and that feels very constant. It feels very like you know you're not getting out of this, and you can't just stop time. And despite loving the experience, it's so much pressure. It's so much pressure to always be feeling better than them so you can be your best for them. This experience has taught me a lot and made me grow as a person so much and become so strong. But with the amount you have to do comes a lot of tiredness, comes a lot of sleep deprivation from the waking up, and I think the sleep deprivation really hit me. And you know, as it is when you give birth, you go through so many hormonal changes. It's such a crazy experience, all the oxytocin, all the hormones that help you be a mum through nature. It's crazy what happens to you, and we shouldn't be made to feel guilty about all these emotions because it's a very natural thing. It's very easy to feel guilty, and that's why we sort of try to act like we're feeling completely fine, but then it all just bursts out. It bursts out of no end. It's like everything is too much for me, and you suddenly start to not appreciate your baby as much as you could because it all gets so much, and you feel the need to pause so badly, and you can end up pulling the saddest faces trying to look after your baby, which, you know, it can make you seem like such a nasty person. You might say things to your loved ones that you don't mean. It's very easy to just feel very bitter, especially when you're so sleep deprived. That is why you should never feel guilty to say that something is wrong. You should always just let your feelings out. And there is no doubt that you might not always have people to talk to. You know, us mums were sort of isolated, and even though talking might not be an option, that doesn't mean you're not able to let out your feelings. You can let your feelings out by journaling them, by making a video like I am now, processing my feelings. You can even just think about how you're feeling. It is very important to let it out somehow, process it, think about why you're feeling a certain way, what's causing it, what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, and how you're going to move forward. And if there's nothing you can do. If it's literally just waking up in the night is hard, that's something you might not be able to change, but how are you going to cope with it? Some things you just need to find coping mechanisms for, but if there's one thing that you need to remember, it is okay for you to look after yourself, for you to pause, and for you to stop being in such a rush, a constant that is never ending. Because if you just take it step by step, day by day, and don't think of it as years and years of pressure, think about hours and how they can be split up, and how 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes in the hour that you can just pause, that you can just breathe and have a minute of silence, have a minute to yourself. It's okay. It's very important to know that your baby will be fine if you leave them for a little bit of time. Take a pause, take a deep breath, and come back to it. It's important to evaluate your mental health every single day. Have that moment and not turn a small pause into a few hour breakdown that makes you a lot worse of a parent than, oh, I've just taken a pause for 20 minutes. When you have that moment of peace, and I've noticed this, I was very overwhelmed on my first day postpartum. I had to go to hospital with my baby. He was a bit jaundiced and we were struggling to feed him, and that was quite overwhelming. And I was sleep deprived. I didn't sleep since giving birth, and I remember all I wanted was to sleep. That's all I wanted, and I couldn't think about parenting at all. So my boyfriend went with him to hospital on his own, and I stayed at home, and I started crying my eyes out that I just got separated from the baby that I carried for a whole 9 months. It was very overwhelming. So now whenever I feel overwhelmed, I just try to remember that I would actually not be happy if my baby was taken away. There's no way I want to be separated from them. I do want to put in the effort, and the effort is so worth it. It's just you get to a point where your emotions are so built up inside you that they explode in the worst way, and that's when you have this constant feeling of, this is too much for me. I think it's important to not feel guilty about pausing, and as mums, I think because we feel so guilty about pausing, it can be very hard. It can be hard to stop doing everything and just switch off your mind, but that small pause can make you do everything so much better when you come back to it. We deserve it, we really do. So all of you that are struggling, I just want you to know that I'm here for you. We are the strongest women alive. We go through so much, so many hormones, and then we still manage to do so much for our children and have unconditional love. We should never forget how amazing we are, and that actually, even though things get hard, we are still doing so well. I thank everyone who's watched this, and I hope it's helped some of you to know that it's okay to feel this way. It's going to be impossible to fix these tough things, the pressure, but it's possible to take every day step by step and just have a moment to calm yourself down. Thank you. I'll see you guys next time. I would also like to talk about something that's really helped my mental health improve, and that's writing a very in-depth reflection, not just writing down like a journal entry, but actually going properly in depth and asking yourself questions about why you feel a certain way and how you can improve. So I actually made my own daily reflection sheet. So yeah, I'm gonna show it to you guys. So this is what the sheet looks like. As you can tell, I went for a peaceful blue theme to make it relaxing, and just the idea of like a beautiful sky, and it's got all different things you can fill out. So this is an example of how I filled it out, and so I just put that today I feel worried and tired, worried about life, just low energy. Why I feel this way, sleep deprived obviously, so I put low energy, quite high stress levels, average happiness, and physical health. I usually have decent physical health luckily, and I put that a nap and a walk would improve the day. And what am I grateful for? Family and health, definitely very grateful for that. And what am I excited to do? Watch a film and have a bath, basically. Just relaxing, and yeah, then some affirmations. I am creative, I am loved, I am hardworking. I think it's really important to remember the things that you are. I think that really helps. So yeah, that's just how I filled it out, and you know, you can put as many things as you want or as little, but just writing these things down really does help.